Hey y'all, what's up? Hope you're doing well. It's John with B Superfly, another Divi tutorial here, having to deal with the menu. So here's a approved design that I have here in Figma, and they want this last menu item here in their top menu, their secondary menu in Divi, to be highlighted like this, almost like a call to action. Normally it's this last menu item down here that we would do, right? Like we've all seen. Usually that last menu item is like a button, call to action or whatever. This is our latest Divi child theme. But this one, I'm going to set it up, and I haven't done much yet at all. All I've done is, let me take a look here, is I just have a top menu identified here with my 3 items here. And then I turned on the CSS class option here so I could give this last item a class of give button right there. So we'll definitely be using that. And then what I've also done is I've set up, so let me go back here to theme options. I've also set up my Adobe fonts to be used with this website. And if you don't know how to do that, there's a tutorial here on Vimeo called Using Adobe Fonts with Divi. If you just Google that, and with Break into Web, it's actually a Break into Web video. You'll see it on here. And Break into Web is our course where we teach you how to become a web designer, of course, using Divi. So check that out too if you feel like learning more about Divi, or if you're just getting started. Okay, and I'll link that Adobe Fonts tutorial in the description here. Okay, so here I am. Nothing's really been done. This is default Divi up here. In the theme customizer, I just set a few options for that top menu. This here. And so these are the only options that I have set. And so for the rest of this, I'm going to use CSS. And then we'll make sure that it works on sticky as well, which should be fine. Okay, so get this up here so we can see this. So yeah, I've written absolutely nothing. So first, I bet what I'm going to have to do is, I bet these have some kind of padding around them, or the whole, the whole entire container has padding around it. You see up here, but we'll get to that in a second. First, let's just target our give item here. So here's our li class, and there's that give button class that we gave the menu in WordPress. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this rule right here, because it's saying go into the navigation, grab the li, and I'm gonna add that that give button class to it. And then let's just say background color, and let me hop over into Figma and grab it. Figma's got this new developer mode thing that you can turn on that makes grabbing stuff super easy. So I'll probably just leave this right here so we can see that. So I'll just do that, and you can't see it, but at the bottom it says copy to clipboard just by clicking on it. Super handy. Thank you, Figma. And then I'm going to set the color. Well, I've already set the color to white. So let's just save this. Let's hop over to our browser. And we'll see what this does, how far this gets us. Okay. Wow, we're done, I guess. No, just kidding. So it looks like, just going in here, each of these has padding on the right. That's fine. My entire container here has some padding on the right. We're going to have to get rid of that. And padding on the top, we're going to have to get rid of that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this top header container. Actually, I'm going to grab this rule because it's a little fuller, I guess. And I'm just going to go above it here, and I'm going to say padding right 0, padding top 0. So that should get rid of those. Let me go ahead and hop over, and I'll give you the CSS code just out of this top menu section for this tutorial. You'll have to change like the font and stuff, but so all right, getting closer. And then it looks like each link might have its own like padding on the bottom. Maybe it looks like, yeah, padding bottom 0.75. I'm just going to make that 0 for now, just to kind of get some things set here. And let me just see if it has any other padding. In Google Inspect here, you can go to computed, and it'll show you like all the other padding that it might have on it. So there's that padding bottom. Looks like there's padding right. All on the first try. Got it. Yeah. That's because of my drop down menu, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just worried about this last one. Okay, let's see here. Okay, perfect. Everything's super tight. That's what we want. So now I'm going to go over and let's get this font dialed in. So it's the Brother 1816 font, 14 pixels. Let me just copy. I think I have the letter spacing already in there. Let's see if I do. Theme customizer, header, secondary menu. Yeah, letter spacing too. Okay, great. So I don't have to worry about that. So just 14 pixels. Font weight 700. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this guy. And before I do, I'm going to move this guy up a little bit. Because we might end up getting rid of this. I'm just using it right now to clear things out. But we're going to want these other ones to have that padding so that they're easy to click and things like that. So, all right, so our font size, and I already forgot, 14, font weight 700. And I already have I already have this button getting the Brother font. So I'm going to go ahead and inspect this. Yeah, right here. Let me just grab that. Actually, it's right here. I'll just grab this. And then let me grab that text shadow while I'm at it. Okay, let's get all this and see where we end up. Okay, all right. It's not grabbing the font weight though for some reason. Let's see here. Give button. Oh, classic. I got it's the link that I want to do this to. There we go. That's looking really good. In fact, I want to do that to all these. So I'm just going to this LIA here. That's what all this needs to go toward. Yeah, we put all that up there. That way we don't need it down here. That way all of them get that. And since let me just go ahead and go to our store here. If you're there's two ways to achieve this. One is you can buy some plugin and do that. or you can actually learn CSS with Divi in mind. So we have this course CSS for Divi, and after going through this course, you'll be able to do everything that I'm doing here in this video. So, all right, let's copy all this, let's paste it in here. So now all these should have that font. Yep, they all have the right font. That's great. Okay, let's start styling this give button now. Now that that's all looking good, let's go back in here and let's just see. It looks like I got 11 padding top and bottom, 22 left and right. All right, so let me go ahead and go back to my CSS here. So on this button's a link here. Padding top and bottom is 11 and 22 on the right and bottom. You know, technically you'd write it out like this: the top, right, bottom, left. But if the top are the same, or if the right and left were the same, but the top and bottom were different, you could do something like this: top 11, right 22, bottom 13, left 22. If the tops are the same and top and bottom's the same, left and right's the same, you can do this. So it'll be top, right, bottom, left. If the whole thing was 11 pixels around, you can just write 11 pixels and it'll do all four sides. So it's a little bit of shorthand that you can use. All right, there we go. Starting to look more like it. Although it seems like this has more, well, what Figma is doing here, and let me switch back over to regular mode. It's building in some space. Yeah, the vertical trim here, it's adding some extra trim for that. So actually it's supposed to be like this. So now let me switch back over. 17 now we see. So 17 is going to be the more accurate number, because that just looks kind of short right there. So I'm going to go in here and put 17. And let me get rid of this this other padding bottom that we had. Maybe I already got rid of it. Looks like I did. Oh, here it is. Let me go ahead and get rid of that now. All right. That way those other links up there get their padding bottom back, so they're easier to trigger. Because the padding that you add to a link increases the clickable area. See, I can click anywhere around here. If I use margin instead, that wouldn't be the case. Like let's just try that, for example. Let me do margin. And actually, hold on. Let me bring this padding bottom 0 back. And let me change this to margin. And you'll see why margin, one of the differences between padding and margin, number one, the background color is not going to extend out, and the clickable area is not going to extend out either. Well, the background did, but the clickable area, you see, is not. Oh, the background did because it's applied to the LI. That's why I did that. But the link itself isn't being hit until up here, because this is margin all around it instead of padding. So let me go ahead and get rid of this, and let's change this back to padding. So that's one of the differences between margin and padding. Folks are like, I don't understand the difference between margin and padding. Well, padding, I always envision, like, let's say you have a box. Padding adds foam and cushion to the inside of that box. So it's inside of the box still. Let's say the box is your clickable area. The box is your link. Padding is going to add stuff to that inside of that box, making it bigger, and padding on the inside. Margin is just increasing the space outside of the box around it, not making your clickable area any bigger. Now we can see that it's all clickable. Okay. Man, it's not liking my texture. 33%. Let me crank this up to 100. For some reason, it's not liking my text shadow. Unless it's so subtle that I can't see it. I may have to rewrite it. Might be missing something here. Yeah, I'm just going to rewrite that. 1 pixel. I think it might be that last one there throwing it off. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, let me put this back down to 0. Or 33, I'm sorry. Okay, great. So now all we got left to do is do a hover state for this button. And instead of going, you know, I could match this background, which is like a 90% blue color. They actually have this other color in their mock-up they use, this kind of, this more, let me see if I can find a good example of it. This blue right here, it's kind of more of a Facebook blue almost, but I'm going to copy that color, and I'm going to use that on hover here. So I'm just going to paste that right there, actually. Copy this whole thing. I can get rid of that now. Oh, actually, wait. I want to do that on the... it's this has the background color right here. So I'm going to copy this, paste it, grab this new color I just did, and say on hover. Paste this in. Now it should change that color on hover. Is it going to be smooth though, or is it just going to do it right away? Let's see. Oh, it just does it right away. And actually, I don't like that color by that, but let's just show you a couple things here. So to get this transition smooth, I have this snippet saved, transition all, 0.3 seconds, ease in out. That's going to make it do a smooth transition, but I am going to copy this background color here. So I'm just going to go in and find that background color. Here it is, this one. I'll just copy that. So on hover, it's going to do this instead. And I don't need that. I don't think I need that important. This all looks good. Got my transition, save. Now in this one, okay, that looks good, but you can, I see what it's doing. I think it's just going, let me look at this real quick. I think it's just going over. So okay, so there already is a 90% behind it. So I'm just going to say, instead of taking this down to that 90%, I'm just going to grab this background color here and say, hey, on hover, do the same yellow, but just take it down to 0. And that'll look better. Because that 90% background, this 90% background isn't on these LIs, it's on the top header here. So it's sitting underneath that yellow, we just can't see it. And now we're just fading it back. And then the other thing that's happening is these are being partly transparent, which is fine, but I think I want them to turn to the yellow color. So let me go ahead and address that here. So I'm going to look at this one here, and I'm just going to toggle this hover state on, and you can see here this one that's highlighted, and it's doing 70%. So I'm going to grab this first one right here, and we'll just use up right past here. That's a good spot for it. And we'll say opacity 1. That's going to get us to where it doesn't fade. And then we're going to say color, do the yellow color. Let's see how this goes. Might have to add important. We'll see. Hopefully not. Okay, so far so good. All right, so it's still doing the opacity, and yeah, sometimes on these, on the opacities, I've found you got to do an important tag. Oh, and I misspelled families. Huh, that's funny. Let's see here. Let's do the hover state. Boy, it's not. Oh, wait. I must have misspelling. Awesome. Oh, opacity. Maybe if I could spell opacity right. I might not even need that now. Still might. I think the opacities still need it, but I could be wrong. Let's find out. No, it looks good. All right, cool. It's kind of bugging me that there's no clear defined here. That's probably because this is too, the padding here is not enough. So I'm gonna go fix that as well, and I'm gonna update that spelling real quick while I'm thinking about it. There we go. Okay, now I'm just gonna click on it here, inspect, and looks like the LIs have the padding there. You can see it in the orange right here. Or they got margin, sorry, margin. Padding is like a yellowy color, margin's orange. So I'm going to go ahead and increase this margin. Well, actually, I'm going to go here and just see. So there's 31 in between there. Let's go back here. And let's just take a look and see what we got. 34, so I need to go down 3 right there. So 31. And that tool I'm using right there is called Pixel Snap 2. It's a little Mac app for quickly measuring things. All right, so let me get that back. Margin right. I'm just going to copy this rule and throw this in my CSS while I'm at it. Right above here. Get it formatted like the rest of mine is. Okay, I think this might do it. And what I think I might do too is I still don't like how this big space is here now. It goes away. So what I'm gonna do instead is on hover. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just do black, and then after I get this in, I'm gonna see what opacity I want. Let me copy all this. Save copy. I always like to have a local version of the CSS there in case this gets cleared out. Okay, so now we should hover. It should be black. That's great. I'm going to inspect it, and I'm going to make sure that link is. Actually, it's the LI class, I believe, because the link on hover, yeah, link on hover is just doing that. So the LI class, the LI, on hover, is doing that black color there, and we're just going to drag this down, maybe even right there, just a little hint. Let me switch this to RGBA. That's an option. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's great. All right, so 33%. Okay, fine. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Which this one already is, but I'll just take this one down 33%. Okay, and that's going to wrap it up, I think, for this tutorial, but we got to check. We got to check the fixed thing. So that's cool. Awesome. That's great. And then my fixed header here. Obviously, I got some work to do on this one here. But what I can do is I can just easily go in here and let's say you can see when here's our top header right here. And you can see when I scroll past certain way, it adds this class. ET fixed header. So let's go ahead and grab that. So I'll just say fixed top menu. And then it's the ID. You can see it right back here. The ID is top header. And then when it gets scrolled, it adds this AT fixed header class to it. So no space. Usually you'd put a space and then that. But since it's adding it to it, you just do that right there. I'm just going to hold this right here for now. And I'm going to say, you know, let's say, let's go back to our, I think all these are 14 actually already. Like, I don't think I need to, yeah, okay. I actually don't need, oh, I do need this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the rest of this here. And I'm just going to go right before, I'm going to go right after this, like that. We're not changing that, so we can leave that alone. We're not changing that. So let's say we're going to go down a font size. And you could do other stuff too. You could decide, well, let's do that. Let's decide also that we're going to make that margin in between. Let's say we're going to make that down to 15, let's say. So put this down here, grab this top header, fixed header here. Let me make sure that that AT secondary nav isn't going to mess things up. Okay, there's AT secondary nav, so I'm good. Here's my top header, fixed header. I'm good there. We'll say 15. Save, copy, select all, boom. Refresh. All right, I scroll down, and there we go. The font's a little smaller. And you can also see that it added oh, I see. Margin right 15. It's taking that 15 that we did and it's adding it. So no big deal, easy fix. We just got to add this li give button here, and then copy this top header thing. So top header, when it's fixed on these on all the LIs, put 15, but don't do it to our give button one. We don't want any margin right on that one. We want that to stay at 0. And just to make it more pronounced, I'm going to say 12 on the font size, just to make it more obvious. But I think I'm actually going to leave it at 13. Okay, so everything's looking good up here. I'm going to style this and give it rounded corners, give it a little soft shadow, get rid of these hover effects, make sure the text starts on the left align instead of right align. You can even make this bigger so that it doesn't go to 2 lines. Anyway, all right, I scroll down there. My font got smaller, and boom. I lied. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna change the padding on the give button. So I'm gonna grab this code here again. Top header. That's just telling us only when it's fixed. Only when it's been fixed, do this. We'll get rid of the drop shadow bit padding. Let's take this down to 12. And then let's take this down to 17. See how this does. Great. Love it. So the only thing we have to worry about now is just getting rid of the space here. So let me see what's causing that. So I got to go up here. Okay, so my main header is being told, 48. Looks like it's trying to tell it 30. But it looks like I need it to be 38. So I'm just going to grab this right here. I'll just put it at the very top. top 38 important, and that should fix that. So again, that CSS for Divi course will teach you all the stuff that I'm doing right now. There we go. That fixed that. Now I'll change these menu items on fixed. I haven't done that yet in the theme customizer. You know, obviously, and this logo's touching the top here. There's some fixed settings that I have to do to clean that up. So I'll clean all that up. But we're just concerned about this top menu here. And yeah, I think it looks great. Last thing, let's see what happens on mobile. I haven't done anything, but I just want to show you that if you wanted to, so there's that give button down here. If you inspect it, you'll see that the LI still has the give button. So even down here, you know, you could say, oh, this is going to be, you know, background. I don't know what that yellow color was. Let me go grab it real quick. Okay, background color. Let's do that yellow. You know, let's do white for the text color. Might have to. Oh, oops, sorry, that's that. You know, border radius 4 pixels. Text align, center. Then you can go into the link inside and say, you know, color white, and give it that text shadow again. I think it was 0, 1, 1. But this was 33%, if I remember right. You know, somewhere in there. Text transform. Uppercase. Oh, font weight. 700. Letter spacing was 2, and font size, let's say 18, 16, 17, 16. Something like that. And so now you got this now you got this nice button type thing here. It looks like a button. Oh, let me go ahead and grab this. I erased that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, now you got this nice button looking deal. And you can add a hover state to all that as well. So yeah, that's what you could do that as well. And perhaps I'll do a second video on that, on how to style this mobile menu like this. So I'll do that here and upload that as well. But as far as our desktop and fixed menu are concerned, I'm really happy with how this turned out. You don't see that a lot on Divi sites. Yeah, all right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next tutorial. Cheers, y'all.